Okay, thoughts before I start. One, I do not think that they can change that much because they're not really putting in much work on this game right now. They've definitely skeleton crewed it. And let's see if my theory holds as we go through this, okay? The first things first, new champions. Neela's is not very memorable. Bel'Veth is... I don't know. I think Bel'Veth was an overall miss, in my opinion. And the reason why I think it's an overall miss is everything about her just seems like it almost doesn't feel like she belongs in League. I know that sounds stupid. I think she's balanced. I think she's been balanced pretty poorly too. In the sense that her snowballing is really dependent on getting an objective or like a kill from the jungle. It's like she gets like one objective and she just runs a game over because her kit's like so oppressive when ahead. Neela, I think Neela is like not a very exciting champion either. I haven't seen the Udyr update yet. But overall, these like new champions that have come out have been kind of... I'm not trying to be like doom and gloom with the game. I still like the game. I still play the game, and I'm not going to try to make this whole thing just me hating and hating and hating, because there are things that I know that I already like from what I've heard. But I really don't. I'm not vibing with a lot of these changes. Now, maybe, you know, maybe new Udyr will be fun. All right, let's see what else he talks about here.
Including Janna, Ahri, Swain, Talia, Olaf, and recently Sivir.
So when he's talking about the mid-scope champions, though, there's not really any champions here that I'm hating in terms of their... I feel like the mid-scope updates have been largely positive, with the exception of like Talia. Like I don't really like... she's been so overtuned and imbalanced, but like overall, the rework, the changes make sense to me at least. So yeah, I don't really hate the mid-scope updates at all. I just feel like the new champions seem kind of dull and forgettable.
Now, Azuma is an oasis city-state in the southern outskirts of the desert.
Please stop.
But you don't have to take my word for it. The entire city-state is basically permanently impressed by him. I mean, he's Kasanti, the pride of Nezuma. You don't get that.
So this has got to be some sort of like Shurima lion, like a lion champ, I guess, is what it sounds like.
For nothing. So after Kasanti, we will be releasing the highly anticipated Aurelion Sol CG.
This does need to happen. No one even plays them.
Or comprehensive gameplay update is a new type of update we are testing out on Aurelion Sol. So the goal is to completely reimagine Asol's gameplay without changing his visuals or narrative at all.
It needs to happen.
Those aspects of Aurelion Sol are still amazing, even by today's standards. Asol's new Q allows him to breathe fire for as long as he has mana to do it. But let's not forget the other thing dragons do, fly. His new W allows him to take to the skies, but this time, he doesn't have to walk in a straight line for like, ever. He can now fly with the push of a button. But really, let's be honest, he's a dragon. And if there's one thing more iconic than either flying or breathing fire, it's flying while breathing fire, which you can do by combining his Q and W.
It looks interesting.
We did it.
It needs to happen.
So after Aurelion Sol, we have a champion I've been literally...
I think he's like not even played anymore. This champion is so dead that an update pretty much is what they... I mean, if I were them, I would feel the same way, where it's like, okay, we got to do something with this guy. So a really heavy gameplay change seems essential.
Really dying to talk to you about. One of the things the League community hounds me about constantly.
All right, too much talking though.
And here's what it looks like. Ooh, so edgy, so dark.
So dog assassin champion, because he literally made like 3 dog jokes here. Hounding, throw me a bone, etc. So it's gonna be some sort of dog edgy champ a la Kane, right?
Another thing a lot of people have been asking to see progress on is the Ahri update that we announced at season start. The base version is close to complete, and the team is...
What is happening? Are they just updating her the way she looks?
Super excited to show you some of the progress on how she's looking in-game.
Is her visuals that bad?
Sweet polygons.
That's kind of weird. I don't understand why they would need to update her at all.
We'll leave you with one small thing. The new champion will show a very different side to Ixchel, far from the lavish palaces Kiana grew up in. So take a look at this art teaser that the team working on him put together. Oh my god, they're so adorable. For now.
All right, this guy is trying, he's got way too much airtime. Gameplay?
Hey everyone.
Oh wait, it's a pure teaser on this. That's it. So gentle creatures, male nurse. All right.
Game designer on the Summoner's Rift team. We work on things
the
like
turnover in Riot must be massive because every time I look, it's a different person.
Update and items in preseason. I've got a few things to cover today, so let's jump right into it. A few patches ago, we launched the champion durability update. We've been closely monitoring the results, and after some targeted adjustments, we're really happy with where the update landed.
I agree. I think overall the update has been a success. The game doesn't feel quite as just one shot stupid a lot of the time. There's actually some back and forth. I agree.
Glad that it helped make the league feel fresher.
I do think the game has felt fresher. It's better than anything they put into the game in the past year.
In the future, unless it's really necessary.
So wait, what?
We don't have plans to make changes of this size.
We don't have change. Yeah, you see what I mean? This is Skeleton Crew, guys.
As outside of preseason in the future. Similar to last year, we're making more targeted changes to various systems.
Okay, here we go.
Our multi-year goal is to bring everything in League up to modern standards before doing updates on the scale of Runes Reforged, Elemental Rift, or the item update again.
Okay, so they're in a holding pattern until they feel the need to announce something big, probably in the next 1 to 2 years. So this is going to be probably the dullest preseason in terms of like changes, which, to be honest, I'm not super opposed to. There has been a lot of dramatic changes within the game now. You know, in the past, like, they have been shaking things up quite a bit, with the exception of last season. But it definitely feels a little dry. Like I said, some of the champions feel a little dry. Some of the changes feel a little dry. The game feels like there's nothing to really get that excited about in terms of, like, you know, fixing like any of the stuff like the dodging. It feels like they're just kind of like they're setting it and forgetting it right now.
Season communication system is showing its age, especially in comparison to some of our other games. So we're giving it some much needed attention with new features that'll make it easier to communicate with your team and walk away with the win. To that, we're expanding our in-game ping system to allow for better communication with your team.
Good. This is very important. This system, no one even utilizes the current system, but guys, this is a Pinglish update. This is a Pinglish buff. Anybody who's been watching my coaching should rejoice. It's a Pinglish buff. Think about how significant that is. You have more opportunities to communicate and steer your sheep around.
Lets you share very basic communications. And while we appreciate your ingenuity with the limited pings you have, we wanted to give you more opportunity for clearer communication. The updated pings will include everything you already know and love, plus expanded
what was that?
Opportunity already know and love.
Engage. Interesting. Engage.
This will include everything you
assist,
already know and love.
Harass. What is this?
Plus expanded vision options and a call to engage.
Freeze, danger, push.
We're also
what was the last one?
And a call to engage.
Is it back? Recall? Maybe it's recall.
We're also thinking about ways to emphasize pings with teammates, plan macro strategy for objectives, and keep track of where pings are on the map, even if they're off your screen. In addition to the changes to communication, we're making some small improvements to the vision system, as it's a bit outdated. It's not super clear that you can swap vision trinkets, and it's definitely not clear how you can best utilize them. To that, we're exploring ways to make vision trinkets more intuitive. You'll be able to see how many wards you have on the map and preview where they'll go placing them in walls.
All for it. Good choice.
Another focus this year is the jungle.
Good choice. You don't know how many times, like, I'm sitting here trying to explain to people where wards go. I shouldn't have to know ward spots. This is stupid.
We know it's often a highly stressful role where you need heaps of knowledge to be baseline proficient. There's a lot riding on junglers, as they're often the backbone of the team's strategy, while sometimes getting unjustly flamed.
Sometimes.
So we're looking to make some changes to make jungling more intuitive.
All the time.
And to help alleviate some of its more painful parts. Our first change is improving buff sharing. Donating buffs to your laners is an important part of being a jungler.
And it feels terrible.
It feels bad to lose the gold experience.
So you're gonna let them donate buffs? What about Ivern?
Bonuses they provide. We're exploring a bunch of things to make this more painless to junglers.
I guess that's a small case.
Buffs leaving behind a little friend that also has a buff, and a few other potential directions. We're also looking at ways of improving jungle camp patience rules. The goal of this change is to make it so you don't get overly punished by accidentally pulling camps too far. You shouldn't have to know exactly what pixel to stand on to do red buff and raptors at the same time without one resetting.
This is a huge change. Do I hate it? Do I not hate it? I don't know. I feel like my competitive, like ego elitist gamer side is saying this is bad, but my pragmatic logical brain is saying, what can Riot do? No one wants to learn this fucking role ever. No one wants to play it ever. And the community is idiotic around it, so making it more accessible to players and making the pathing make more sense, I think is fine, or at least the clears make more sense is fine. And I don't think anything really changes. People will still not really know how to race fast or won't even think about moving quickly through the jungle. So I think ultimately it's a win, but I don't know. Like I said, the big comp gamer NEACE doesn't really love it, right?
So we're making changes that will make it less punishing when that happens. We know some junglers like to hyper-optimize their clears, and we want
this is gonna kill the whole clear. Like every big change is gonna change everything. Phylaris, like, he probably gonna just abandon the spreadsheet, to be honest, unless I pay him money.
Optimal clears for different champions.
Chemtech Drake. Wonder what are they gonna do with this thing? They can't do the zombie.
Today is the long-awaited return of everyone's favorite Drake, the Chemtech Drake. While we're bringing Chemtech Drake back from the dead, she won't bring you back from the dead anymore. Instead, the new and improved Chemtech Sol grants more damage and damage reduction when you're low health.
So,
and when the Chemtech Drake takes over the rift, the plants on the map mutate and become empowered. For example, Scry's Bloom will grant movement speed when moving towards revealed enemies.
Oh.
The Blast Cone will take you further than ever before, like from blue buff to mid lane.
All right. Okay, that's a smart. I like that. I would not have come up with that. That's pretty clever. Whoever came up with that is smart. Make the plants more fun and goofy for the Chemtech Drake. Gives cool options, different options. That's a fun change. I don't mind it.
We still have other plans for preseason, including the usual updates and tweaks to items and runes. That's all I have today. Thanks for watching, and let us know what you think about everything you heard.
Oh no.
I'll hand things back to Reeve to say goodbye.
I don't want Reeve. No offense to Reeve. I feel bad for Reeve because I'm sure he's a nice guy. He's just forced to do this cringe shit. Gothic update. All right. How do I feel about it? I'm okay with it. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want this to be doom and gloom. I think jungle changes will be fun, to see what they come up with to change, to make jungle more accessible. I think ping changes are very cool. There's new champions to at least kind of wonder like what they're going to do with. Aurelion Sol looks kind of interesting, how that will play. Some new champion releases. You know, I think I can give Riot a pass here. I think I could give Riot a pass here. I think that there's things that I really want them to fix, but at this point I think it's a difference of opinion now. Like, they obviously are never going to change dodging. They're never going to tweak their rank system. I hate to sound defeatist in regards to ranked, but I think anybody that's going beyond diamond, like I've said countless times, Riot doesn't give a fuck about them. Which at this point I've accepted that. You know, the way that you make it in this space is being good enough at the game and networking to be pro, or being good enough at the game to make content and be memorable in your content creation. Ranked isn't really a completely accurate example of how good people are anymore, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of changes to make that portion of ranked, basically to keep the value of ranked high. I think ranked value, or the importance of ranked, will deteriorate over time because no one's just, it just doesn't feel legit, at least as much as it used to past diamond. It doesn't feel legit anymore. Yes, you do get to queue solo past master, but there's still a lot of win trading. There's more scripting showing up again, which is a little weird. And then there's also nothing to offset the dodge abuse of the massive queue times over there. And then there's Smurf queue. So like I said, big differences of opinion. I can't even really be that mad at it. I mean, I am mad about it. I'll always be mad about it, but they're just not changing those things. And they clearly have this is preseason. Like, they have no interest in fixing any of those like glaring problems. So it's not all love. In fact, there's things for me personally I wish they'd change. But as you know, League of Legends, as like a game, League of Legends, the skeleton crew approach, I think they could justify a year of it, honestly, because they have made so many dramatic changes in the past like 3 or 4 years to the game. I do think the ping change is a good one. I do think the ward change is a good one. I do think the Chemtech Drake will be a fun addition. I do think there will be champion. There's enough champion variety coming down the pipeline that's going to keep the game fresh, and then the jungle change will be kind of massive too. So I don't think that there's nothing here. I don't think it's as dry as I thought. It is pretty dry. But overall, like, I'm still excited to play the game. I'm still excited to explore the changes. And I have projects coming out for my content and for the game. And I'm, you know, after seeing this, I'm excited even more because I know that there's a lot of cool stuff to explore here and to get good at, and different ways to change up my coaching. And even my job isn't even as boring, you know, especially with the jungle change. I like that because it's going to make my job more interesting, right? I think overall, I think it's a solid B minus, B minus preseason. Again, I'm kind of giving them a pass because they've put so much effort into the durability change in the middle of last season. I'm giving them a pass because before that, you know, they've had mega changes. And I think the game's in a pretty healthy spot. It's a fun game to play. I love playing Garen and like fucking around with Proxy Garen right now. I don't hate this game at all still. But yeah, I think, what do you guys think? I don't like this guy. Not that he's a bad person. I just don't like what this. I started. I was okay with it, and then he's just started getting mega goofy. I think the new champions, of what we know about them, I think there's a lot here to look forward to. I don't think it's I don't think it's doom and gloom. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at them. I think they did a pretty good job with this. I wish it didn't feel like they had kind of moved on past their main game, but I think that it's very clear that a lot of the people at Riot want the new bright and shiny thing. They want to be a part of this new MMO that they're building. And I personally, I want a League of Legends 2. I think that would be cool, but probably not going to get that for a couple years, huh? Anyways, let me know what you guys think of the comments and everything. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. And to you guys and the stream, I'm a bounce for now. What was your favorite thing on the preseason? That's what you should probably let me know in the YouTube comments. What was your favorite addition? And what do you guys think they should add? You know, do you think my review is fair? And do you think this guy is lame? You let me know.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.